In this video I will show you how we can make our drops to the next level. So this is a track I started during one of my live streams, and in my members area you can follow me along how I create tracks if you want to know more, and if you want to learn how I create my tracks, and if you want to apply stuff to your own production. So you're invited to become a member and support this channel and learn for your own production. And now let's dive into the topic. I already showed many techniques in my drops tutorial about like risers and kind of like the impact afterwards, but in today's video I want to focus on something very specific here. What I will show you is pretty similar for all the drops, but especially here I use this technique from the transition from this block into this melodic block. And the thing is, I have this bassline pattern here, all the block long, so all the 16 bars long is the same pattern. But as you can see here, right before I put like a break into my kick and bass here, like a very tiny break, this is basically a break of 2 quarter notes. And one quarter note before, I just raised the bassline a little bit to give it like that extra push into this kind of like breathing and then into the drop. So it's just like a little kind of like a little detail which improves that ending of the phrase here. The same I do actually in the melody. So I have this melodic pattern here playing, I don't have the notes right now here, but as I marked it like in a different color, it's basically repeating on the same notes here. And also here where I start like fading it in. But right in that moment where I prepare for that lead, I take the pattern and modify it so that it kind of like goes up and into that drop. So I just like change a few notes, and there's no particular rule to that. It's just like think of what would kind of like lead to this end of the phrase and then into the new section. So basically it's here. I don't remember quite why I marked this also yellow, but actually it's here in the same space where we have that kind of like kick alternation and then the space here. And I just want to show you that you can do this in like different kinds, but the idea behind this is that you're driving the phrase towards an end and you're kind of like a little bit deviating from the thing you're already doing all the block long. For example, here in 45, I have like a little bass riser. So it just goes like this. I have the clip transposition here also like in the end, moved 7 semitones up. And what it does is basically this. So it just drives the momentum a little bit more up in the end. And I don't have it here in that track, but you can try the same thing also with drums. So for example, you can make small glitches here, or kind of like close like faster loops or stuff, like you would have in a snare or crash roll. So that's also an option you can try here in the drums. Besides that, you can also work with one shots. It's a little bit more like in the tutorial I already showed about the drops. So we have that double shot thing here. Which kind of like really fits nicely here and accentuates the new thing coming. And another thing I really love to do is to play with FM's little games. So usually FMs are like on one root note and playing like the same rhythmic patterns. You can also kind of like abuse this and start doing some melodies with FMs to announce other melodies later in the track. So for example, listen this. So this little part in the FM plays a melody which comes later in the track, and it sounds like this. It's just like manipulating a few notes, which then smoothly kind of like right into the next block. And the cool thing is that it really gives you a little accentuation for the next block. Don't overdo that, don't make it on every block, don't make it everywhere the same. Just be creative, what you can do, how you can kind of like end your phrases a little bit more creative, and not every phrase you want to end like that. You just want to pick certain ones which then really give you the push into the next one so that you can really drive the energy. That's actually anyways an important thing with music. If you put accents, then you want to do it on purpose and not kind of like just applying it blindly. So always think what you want to achieve and then you find a creative solution for that. I hope you enjoyed this little quick tutorial on how you can end your phrases better and make your drops more interesting. And if you want to learn from my production what I do and kind of like see all the little tricks which I might not show in my YouTube tutorials, with only €5 you can become a member and you can watch kind of like all my productions. There's a lot of things I don't mention in my YouTube videos because they're too small, or I don't think of making a video, or it's not relevant to the community, but which is important. And with this format I want to really give you everything, so that you can really see how a track develops and that you can apply it for your own production, or that you can pick strategies which you can apply to your own music to become a better producer. And then it goes through mixing and mastering and releasing, and you can take part in this journey, and maybe it becomes your own journey one day. And see you in the next video.